imagine. It's just another typical day back in high school. After being unable to fall asleep early the night before, you awake to your alarm clock alarming you that it is time to get up and go to school. Once you arrive at school, you find yourself unfocused and unable to keep your eyes open during class. We've all been there. Hello. My name is Allison Nimmo, and today I'll be discussing with you why schools need to start later. I myself am a high school student who suffers with lack of sleep because of the early start time. I, much like many other teenagers, struggle with focusing and attempting to remain awake during class. Today I will discuss the problems with teens not receiving adequate sleep and trying to wake up so early for school, the experiments conducted upon the theory of starting school later, and the benefits of starting school later. Let's first take a look at the problem with school's early start time. According to the National Sleep Foundation, found on sleepfoundation.org, teens require at least 9 1/4 hours of sleep each night for optimal performance. However, most average only 7 hours of sleep per night by the end of their high school career. During adolescence, sleep patterns shift, making it very difficult for students to fall asleep before 11 p.m. and even harder for students to wake up so early in the morning for school. Adolescents need more sleep, and early start times at schools interfere with their natural circadian rhythms. Because of their offset internal biological clock, students are not fully awake by the time their first class begins. Evidence suggests that students are indeed seriously sleep deprived. Here, we see a recent poll conducted by the National Sleep Foundation that 60% of children under the age of 18 complained of being tired throughout the day, and 15% report falling asleep at some point during the school year. Sleep is important to the human body, just like breathing and eating. Lack of sleep can limit the student's ability to learn, memorize, focus, and/or solve problems. Lack of sleep has also been linked to inappropriate behavior, depression, and aggressive behavior in students. Now let's take a look at some of the studies and experiments different schools have conducted testing the theory of school startings later. First, we will look at the Center of Applied Research and Educational Improvement at the University of Minnesota study found on cehd.umn.edu. The school start times in Minneapolis was changed from 7:15 to 1:45 to 8:40 3:30 p.m. day. In Adena, a 7:25 a.m. to 2:10 p.m. day was changed to 8:30 to 3:10 p.m. The results were as follows. Students report gaining an average of 1 hour of sleep per night, eating breakfast more frequently, and feeling more alert during class. Teachers reported that there were definite improvements in student behavior, fewer disciplinary referrals to the principals, and students seemed more alert. This study shows us by moving the start time up by at least an hour, students are definitely showing improvements in almost all aspects of their school life. Now let's look at the second experiment conducted by Julie Burgers. As found in later school start time is associated with improved sleep and daytime functioning in adolescence, an article written by Julie herself. Burgers' team administered the school sleep habit survey to boarding school students both before and after their school start time was delayed from 8 to 8:25 during the winter semester. The school start time was linked with a 29-minute increase in sleep duration on school nights, with the percentage of students receiving 8 or more hours jumping from 18 to 44%. Daytime sleepiness, depressed moods, and caffeine usage were all significantly reduced. Now, we will look at Dr. Mary A. Carskadon's experiment. Carskadon investigated what would happen to sleep and circadian rhythms if the transition from junior high to senior high required a change in school starting from 8:25 to 7:20 in the 9th grade, then shifting back to regular time in the 10th. Carskadon found that in the 10th grade, the students woke earlier for high school, but only 25 minutes instead of the regular 65. Sleep onset did not change, and sleep fell from 7 hours 9 minutes to 6 hours 50 minutes, which is significant as the students were already suffering from a sleep deficit as it was. Carskadon explains her study as follows. Even without the pressure of biological changes, if we combine an early school starting time, say 7:30 a.m., which with modest commute makes 6:15 a viable rising time, with our knowledge that optimal sleep needed is 9 1/4 hours, We are asking that 16-year-olds go to bed at 9 p.m. Obviously, this isn't the normal 16-year-old life. You can't expect 16-year-olds to go to bed at 9 p.m. From these 3 experiments, we can clearly see how starting school later would definitely improve overall performance. Now that we have looked at the health risk and studies that have been done, let's take a look at the benefits and things students could accomplish by starting school at a later time. First, students will be more able to focus. By being more able to focus, they will be more homework completed, which could improve grades. Secondly, by receiving more sleep, as the teachers and principals reported, students' behavior will improve. Students will be calmer, less likely to argue, and have better attitudes. And lastly, by starting school later, you will see a decrease in students who suffer from different forms of depression. Depression is a major health risk that is linked with lack of sleep. By delaying the school start time, teenagers will be better aided against suffering from depression. The bottom line is, teenagers don't just want school to start later, teenagers need it to start later. In order for teenagers to fully function right, schools need to adapt to teen sleep cycles. My vision is to see this change happening within the next few years. We've all been there. We've all been the teenager struggling to complete homework, focus in class, and falling asleep. Delaying the school start time is becoming a necessity. I challenge you to speak up and to help this generation and the generation to come be able to maximize their full academic potential by providing them with adequate sleep to which their bodies need. I will leave you with this quote from Woodrow Wilson. You are here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision, with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world. Thank you.